Welcome back, and I don't know about you, but I think I did a great job unboxing that Mac Mini. And if you didn't, well, you're not here to tell me that, so we will keep moving with our conversation around this computer. So anyway, I deal with audio and video, so I end up working with all kinds of gear and technology. I'm really passionate about this stuff. I've been in IT for 15 years now, and I've been dabbling with audio engineering just about as long. And the bits of gear and the tech is where these two worlds that I'm passionate about sort of collide. That's what's really exciting about what we're looking at today, because it's especially true for the M1 Mac Mini. Now, for the uninitiated, the M1 Mac Mini is Apple's latest desktop computer, but there's something a little special about it. If you're computery at all, if you stay up to date, or if you've just been window shopping, you would know that we're used to seeing things like Intel processors or AMD processors or Ryzen, as you might be seeing around in the different computers on the market. What's different about the M1 Mac Mini is that it has the M1 processor, and that processor is made by Apple. Now, Apple's not totally new to making processors. If you're as old as me, you remember a time frame with PowerPCs, which were technically processors made specifically for Apple computers by Apple. And then, of course, as of late, for years, the iPhone, iPad, and iPods all have systems on a chip which were developed and made by Apple and perform exceedingly well. So Apple's put in the time, they've put in the practice, and they've finally made the jump to putting one of their own developed processors into a full-blown computer. That's got some really big implications for us in the technology world and also the audio world. Let's talk about why this is such a big deal. Why the technology world kind of turned onto its head and there's all this hype. It's because it's actually pretty legitimate. The hype is real. The M1 Mac Mini is pulling numbers from a very affordable device that are comparable to devices that are 3 times its price, if not more, and it tends to outperform them. And it's with really important things too. It's not just the score for the processor that really doesn't, directly translate into something that you and I really care about. We're seeing significant performance with exporting video, encoding videos, playing back, and giving you the ability to comfortably and smoothly edit 4K video. Something I'm doing with this footage right now. Well, not right now, but you know what I mean. We're seeing it absolutely slay when it comes to Logic Pro, and plugins. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I have been operating on a 2010 Mac Pro, which I've upgraded a little bit. It's got a better video card. It's got 24 gigs of memory, and the Mac Pros back then, they were pretty crazy machines. They have multiple processors in them, and they're like server class processors. It's a bulletproof, amazing machine. Granted, it's 10 years old, but still, it's performed beautifully for me for several years. This Mac Mini is, in many ways, blows it out of the water with things that matter. We're talking about day-to-day productivity, or you're an artist, you're a creative that needs performance, that wants to be able to work with the latest and greatest. Your price tag to get into the Apple ecosystem with an immense level of performance is $700 in the United States, and that's a steal. Let's talk about some of the other implications, though. It has a new brain, it speaks a new language. Now, the Apple M1 processor is based on the ARM architecture, which isn't totally new. It's been around for some time, but Apple has taught their computers to speak that ARM language better than any other computer right now, to the point that it outperforms just about anything else in its class in the market. But at the end of the day, the applications that you and I have been using for years and years on our Macs were written using a different language. Apple's tried to take care of that. With Rosetta, which I believe is the term they used back in the day for their PowerPCs for something similar, they can translate between these two languages. So yeah, the M1 Mac Mini speaks ARM and everything else speaks x86 or x64. There is this interpreter in between that's doing the translating, and it does it exceptionally well, to the point that these applications that were written in the previous language work the same or even better on this new type of system. Don't get me wrong, some don't work at all, and that's something that we're going to run into. This is especially prevalent in the audio world. Now, obviously, Logic Pro, which is an Apple product, not only does it work on the M1 architecture or the M1 processor, it's optimized for it. Obviously, Apple has coordinated all that. They are not stupid. Where you might run into things, where we might run into things, and as I'm setting it up today, I'm learning, and we'll find out, our plugins. We use, usually in the audio industry, we have an array of tiny applications that we use on our devices within our DAW, our digital audio workstation, and those may very well not work. And I've seen some things in the community already, some older plugins, some that are very key for some of our workflows, just right now don't function with this Rosetta interpreter in between, unfortunately. I think we're going to find that number of plugins that don't work is going to dramatically fall as these companies prepare and get ready for this new generation of device, because the writing's on the wall. This is the future of computing. And at the very least, it's the future of computing in the Apple arena. And creative types, let's be real, do tend to gravitate toward the Apple ecosystem. That's not to say one is better than the other. That's maybe a conversation for a different video. But the M1 processor is here to stay, and it works very well. So I'm excited to start using this device and see the stuff that I'm able to make on it. And what's really great is now I'm able to kind of stay up to date on the latest applications and the latest version of macOS, because my Mac Pro is so old it no longer can, which is a huge bummer because it's an awesome machine. But I'm stoked for the M1 Mac Mini. I'm stoked for what this means for technology. I'm looking forward to just these advancements. It's really exciting. It makes us more accessible than ever. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to be here to talk to you about it. So thank you for hanging out with me. Again, I'm Manny. I am the founder of Luminara Studios. I'm also the bassist, vocalist, and founding member of the Valley Ritual. If you like weird death metal and stuff, come check us out. But thank you for hanging out with me here on the Luminara Studios YouTube channel. I'll be seeing you soon.